All right, welcome back to the Grumpy Enginerd World Headquarters. The project today is still focusing on workshop organization. What I'm building is a dock for my random orbital sander. I find I'm using it more and more. I don't want to put it away in its case every time I get done using it, but I do want it out of my way, and I don't want it dancing all over the workbench top if I try to set it down when I move on to something else. So this is basically a hanger for it. The goal is to make it clamp onto the workbench with a couple of thumb screws so it can be moved easily without any tools, but to keep the random orbital sander handy but out of my damn way. So here I've got a couple of arms that I've made that I'm just sanding, and as you'll see in the coming up, what I'm doing right here on the disc sander is actually running this project, but we'll get to that here shortly. Just doing some basic sanding and shaping. I apologize, the video jumps around a little bit. I'm kind of doing some design and adjustment of the design as I build, but I really wasn't sure the best way to make this work, so I was kind of inventing along the way. There's some more sanding after I clamp the two pieces together with some brad nails so I can make a match, or at the time what I think is make a match. I got a little unhappy there because I couldn't get in that corner with that disc because of the guard. So I do a little more shaping with the drum sander on the drill press. Some sandpaper here on a dowel rod, just trying to clean it up some more. Oh, there's our sander that we're actually making this for, to give it a place out of the way. So we're going through working on it here, doing a little hand sanding, and I think the arms at this point are looking pretty good, but I have no idea at this point that I've already ruined them. Putting a radius on the inside, just trying to match the profile of the sander handle a little better. And here I'm just cutting the pieces to the rest of the pieces to clamp it all together and get everything lined up. I got just another couple pieces, but I was making sure everything was aligning the way I wanted it to. Now I'm just setting a stop on the sled so I can cut a couple pieces. This is the parts for the actual clamp, to clamp onto the lip of the workbench. Alright, so now I've got all my pieces here, and I think I'm on to something, other than I may have to, I think I trim one more piece here. But I think I've got this thing nailed at this point. Little did I know. Yep, here we're just making the final markings. I'm going to trim down one more piece here in a second. Now I'm lining up. I wanted the base of it underneath the sander. I just put a peg. I'm getting ready to put a peg in here. I'm trying to line it up pretty well centered so that I can leave extra sanding discs on it, but I locate them off one of the dust collection holes with a peg. You'll see here in a minute. You can see the hole right there for it. That way they don't fall on the floor every time I turn around. And here I'm making sure my thumb screws are going to fit so that I can clamp this thing without too much hassle and able to move it around. Yeah, I tried to clean as I went on some of this, keep the workshop a little cleaner. Yeah, that shit doesn't work. You just have to sweep up at the end of the day. It's the only thing that makes any sense. Alright, so here goes the peg to locate the sanding discs, because I don't want those flying all over. Tap that in. Get rid of the extra glue. There, I checked it with a disc to make sure I had the right size. marking up the arms so I can put them together and get ready. The fun's about to start here. So I'm just gluing and using some brad nails to hold this together. Again, love this Metabo brad nailer. Greatest purchase of the last several years for me. Really enjoying it. Anyway, clamping this together, making sure everything's flush, everything's lined up right. And, you know, I still haven't picked up on the problem yet, but it's coming. So I put the back on just to use to give the arms a little more support, because that sander does weigh a little bit. Nothing crazy. A little more glue. Spreading it around. Thinking I'm in the home stretch on this. Proud of my design. A couple more brad nails. Yep. Still haven't seen it yet because I'm too busy worrying about splitting the wood. There it is. There it is. It's all misaligned and misorganized and twisted. I can't figure out why. Well, I'll let you in on the secret. The problem is some dumbass failed to square up the table on the new 12-inch disc sander. So when I clamped those together and sanded them, they were at the wrong angle, and they're not 90s. Check you later.